This right here could be one of the most important videos you could ever watch if you are currently running a print-on-demand store or thinking about opening one. Check out this post right here. It was made inside of my print-on-demand Facebook group. It says, "I'm brand new to this. $250,000 a year profit is what I want to make. What would it take to get there? I've heard a bunch of figures thrown out there, and I'm wondering how attainable this would be in this space." Now, as someone who makes YouTube content about print on demand, I often do research, meaning I go on YouTube and I see what types of videos are being created. Logically speaking, this is a good way for me to figure out which types of content I should be making. Yesterday, I was doing this, and all of the videos that I was coming across made this business model, print on demand, seem like it was some sort of a get-rich-quick scheme. It literally made this entire thing seem so easy. Videos with clickbait titles and outrageous claims about how much money you can make as a beginner. And I think really two things are happening. People that are new to print on demand see these videos and think that within a week they can start a business without really doing anything. And then on the flip side, you have people, like I said, that make posts like this where they think they can literally start $1 million business. Because if you do the math, if you're looking to make $250,000 profit, that means you are going to be doing over $1 million in sales. Now, is this attainable? Sure. But the idea that you can just watch some sort of a tutorial on YouTube on how to set things up and then achieve that is going to be a little bit far-fetched. To build a business, you have to actually build a business. Now take a look at this store here, WallaceGraphicTees.com. Now, this store was shared with me inside of my print-on-demand Facebook group. If you guys want to join, there is a link down in the description. Oftentimes people share stores there for feedback, and this is one that I wanted to pull up. If this is your store and you're watching this video, please don't be offended. I am only trying to help. So first things first, right? This store, right off the bat, the top of the store here, doesn't this just remind you of one of those videos that you would watch about like a step-by-step tutorial to start print on demand or something like that? We have a really generic photo of some t-shirts there. We then have a logo that is relatively lackluster. Honestly, this doesn't really look like an e-commerce logo. It seems like something that was created by someone who doesn't have a lot of experience with graphic design. As we scroll through, there's really not much here in terms of an actual business. We have a really generic header up at the top, followed by even more generic images of random products just sort of thrown together. It says, "We here at Wallace Graphic Tees will strive to bring you the very best in clothing and all other accessories for everyday life and well-being. Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter so that you can stay up to date on all that we offer and will offer in the future." So in this video, we're going to look at a few more stores like this, and I will give you 3 simple things that you can do to help you to actually build a real business and potentially help you to hit the reset button on what you are currently doing if you have followed any of these step-by-step tutorials and are not getting the results that you want. Because like the title of the video says, this is all about what they don't tell you about print on demand. Meaning there are so many videos out there with these outrageous claims and simplified setups, and what we end up getting is stores that look like what I just showed you. Sometimes I think people building those stores think just because they're building a store and creating products that when people visit the store, they will automatically begin buying from them. The other day, I made this post inside of the POD Ninjas Facebook group where I talked about that people visiting your store are not fish. Basically, the point of the post is to say that anybody visiting your store is a real person and they are going to be making real buying decisions. They have worked hard for their money, and to think that we can just throw a few things together, no matter how amateur it looks, and think that they're going to buy from us is just honestly silly. Just like you and me, we all work hard for our money, and we're going to be super critical of not only how the store looks, but also the actual products that someone is selling. Take a look at this store here. Again, this is another print-on-demand store that was shared with me inside of the POD Ninjas Facebook group. And we can see just some really generic products. I'm going to open a few of these here in other tabs and we'll take a look, right? Here's a t-shirt that says, "I didn't even want to come," with a really generic image of a person there. It actually says the same thing on the front and on the back. And they're selling this for $28. We have another one here. It just says pushover on it with an icon of a person pushing it. Again, for $28. If we go to the homepage of this store, it says, "Welcome to Truth Teller Shirts. We're looking for the perfect way to tell the world who we really are. Check out our collection of brave, fun, and honest t-shirts." This is the sort of thing that when people watch these random videos on YouTube and they think they can just create anything and try to sell it, that they end up producing. Honestly, I'm being 100% honest here. As I scroll through this, I don't think a store like this is going to ever make a single sale. When you're opening a print-on-demand store, you are starting a real business. You have to have a great-looking store, and you have to have products that people actually want to buy. Throwing random quotes and platitudes on t-shirts is not a business model that is going to work. Those are the types of shirts that you will see on the clearance rack at Walmart for $2.95. Those are not things that people that are scrolling social media are going to stop what they're doing in their day to actually come and purchase. Here's a post that was made inside of my coaching group. I have blurred out the person's name and all references to their products so that way their privacy is protected. And if you're watching this video and you're the one that made this post, again, I'm not trying to put you on blast. I'm not trying to be super negative with you. I'm only trying to help and hopefully share my response to you with everybody else here on YouTube. So they said, "I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. I've done 10 audiences and all failed." And I responded and I said, not everything we create is great. Sometimes what you're doing wrong is the design, meaning just because you are having failed tests doesn't mean you can always fix it. My point being is sometimes I see people make posts in groups and they share stores like what I've showed you here in this video and they wonder why they're not making sales. They almost think that there's something behind the scenes with the way they have set things up that is causing them to not make sales. And if only they could fix that small thing, they would then begin to see sales. And again, I think that's a result of watching the types of YouTube content that we are conditioned to seeing, where if we can just set things up correctly, that we are going to be able to make sales. But it's much bigger than that. Like I said, what these videos don't tell you is that yes, you can follow tutorials to actually set up a store, but unless you have a solid business there that you've created, it's never going to work. So if you're still with me, good. I want to now talk a little bit about what you should do in order to ultimately succeed with your print-on-demand store. The first thing is you have to figure out exactly why you're doing this. What is your goal? Why do you even want to have a successful print-on-demand store? Essentially, why are you looking to create an income source online? If you can tie that back to something tangible, like being able to pay off some debt or take care of a few bills around the house, or just to have some extra spending money for weekend day trips to the mall. If you can tie it back to something tangible, what that's going to do for you is it's going to keep you motivated. So many people are viewing their print-on-demand store as if it is a lottery ticket, and then when it doesn't work out at the beginning, they get very discouraged and ultimately end up giving up. So like I said, the first thing is figure out exactly what you are doing this for. It's going to help you to stay motivated in the long run. The second thing is you got to figure out who it is you're selling to and why they would actually want to buy your stuff. This is something I talk about a lot here, is that your niche is super important. The products we looked at so far today don't really represent an actual niche. They are just sort of abstract ideas slapped on a t-shirt. You have to actually pick something that's going to get someone to come off of social media onto your store to purchase. Your niche should represent something they're passionate about, something they identify with, like a job they have or a hobby that they love to do. Once you do that, you have to figure out what you're actually going to sell to them and make sure it is done well. If you're not a designer, you should be hiring someone to make your designs. Again, I say that here on the channel a lot, and sometimes people get upset with me. The third thing is once you actually have your niche and your products together, you got to build a great looking store. Here is a store here called GoFastDon'tDie.com. This store does a fantastic job at creating a store that looks great. Let's just quickly scroll through this and then we will come back up to the top and we will take a peek, because honestly, like I said, a lot of people, they don't give any weight towards how their store actually looks. They follow a few tutorials and then they just throw it out there for the world, and then they wonder why they're not making sales. The first thing this store has done really well is they have created a great logo up at the top. The two stores we looked at already today didn't do so hot with the logo. The second thing here If we scroll down, they have some really nice images representing their stuff. These are not just generic images, they are just really great images to showcase their brand. The third thing is their header image actually looks great. As you remember on Wallace Graphic Tees today, they just had a really generic image with a bunch of t-shirts hanging on hangers. Another thing this store does well is they don't have a long emotional paragraph like we saw on the two other stores today. They simply just make a simple statement here. They don't get all emotional with how their products are going to solve world hunger or anything like that. They are just keeping it real here on their store. Another really simple thing this store has done is they have a great color scheme going. You can see that they have really played up the black, white, and the yellow. They have yellow on this button here. They also have yellow if you hover over the rest of their stuff up at the top. If you scroll down, they have a yellow line here. If we continue to scroll all the way to the bottom, we will see even more yellow on the bottom. And again, these are just simple things that I wanted to showcase because what we have is a really solid contrast. At the beginning, I showed you stores that didn't look so great, and now this store here is actually quite nice. It's going to be much better at getting people to actually want to purchase from it, paired with the fact that this store has done a good job at creating products that people actually want to buy. Plain and simple, the point of me making this video is to show hopefully those that are just starting out looking to create $1 million business, like the post I showed you at the beginning, that in order to actually do that, it's going to take a lot more than just a couple of YouTube videos that you're going to be watching. This is not something that you can just set up in a weekend. This is not a video game, meaning you don't just set things up in a certain way and then press play and you begin to make sales. This is an actual business, right? And most videos here on YouTube don't actually tell you that. So hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, drop a like. Also, if you want to learn more about creating this type of a business, make sure to do a couple things. One is down in the description, I have a free course. It's going to show you step by step how to actually open your store, so that way all the stuff on the back end you can actually learn how to do. Secondly, there's a ton of information in that free course about how to actually create products that people are going to want to buy. And then third, make sure to join the POD Ninjas Facebook group. I post a bunch of stuff there as well that can help you with your print-on-demand store. There's a link to that down in the description. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, if you did, drop a like, and I will see you guys next time.